So you're looking at joining Solavei and you're wondering, what's the coverage like on Solavei and the T-Mobile network? Will it work for me? That's a great question, probably one of the best questions you can ask yourself. And I want to address some of those things. And if you live in an area where you have no coverage, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a way that I can guarantee you coverage if you have an internet connection, either from an app on your phone or using your computer to make inbound and outbound phone calls using the Solavei phone service. But let's first address the coverage with Solavei. They do use T-Mobile, and T-Mobile is one of the newer companies out there, so the coverage is not as good as some of the established companies like Verizon and possibly Sprint, because Sprint uses the Verizon backbone. Verizon has the best coverage out there, there's no question. They have the most LTE coverage, which is the high-speed internet, the fastest speed that's available out there right now. But if you live in a major city or if you live in a metropolitan area, T-Mobile's 4G coverage is fantastic. The speeds on the data are just awesome. I've used Verizon before, and I prefer the T-Mobile 4G data speeds over Verizon. But I would say that the coverage is beyond adequate if you live near any kind of major city, And all the infomercials, "Can you hear me now?" and those kinds of things that Verizon puts out there is basically a scare tactic. Same thing with contracts, it's a scare tactic to keep you on your network. You might have a drop call a month or a drop call a week, but really, when I started years ago in the wireless business, we had a coverage area about the size of this room that we sold in, so coverage was really an issue then. So I think we've kind of gotten spoiled, and I think marketing has swayed a lot of people to think that T-Mobile, it's not that good, but it's a fantastic service. There's 40 million people that use T-Mobile, and even more than that use the prepaid service. So, for a good percentage of the country, it's working just fine for a lot of people. So with Solavei too, it's the only company out there that pays you to actually refer the service. And so I would say that the coverage is more than adequate. If you're out in a very remote area, you may have an occasional issue. Like I live in Tennessee in the mountains, and or close to the mountains. And when I go to this one area, there's places where I used to have coverage that I don't now, but it's not a big deal. We're talking about 15 minutes of my drive. It's just not a big deal at all. And there's about 5 people that live there. So when I say coverage is different, yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's all depends on how spoiled you are really, and how much your brain has been programmed that you're going to have a drop call every 5 miles using T-Mobile, and that's just not the case. I drive from here to Alabama every week, in between Knoxville, Tennessee and Birmingham, Alabama. I don't have any area that I'm out of signal. I may have, like every carrier, one area just in northern Alabama where I have a problem, maybe for half a mile, but that's it. Corridor coverage all the way. And when I get to any city, the coverage is blanket coverage everywhere I go. But let me go address what I was talking about. If you're having some in-building coverage problems and you're looking to port your number to Solavei, there's one thing I would recommend. I switched to Google Voice. I actually ported my number to Google Voice, and I just ordered any old phone number that Solavei would give me. So I always have coverage. I have a cabin in the mountains in Gatlinburg, and so if there was ever an issue there in Gatlinburg, I just get on Wi-Fi and it can receive all of my calls through Google Voice. But it doesn't matter. My daughter lives on the lake not too far from here, and they have no coverage for anything, but they have internet access. So what she did was she got Google Voice, and again, we forwarded the Google Voice number to her cell phone, and now she can get calls, anywhere within the Wi-Fi range of the house. And that's really what people are looking for, is if they're having problems and they live in a remote area, but they've got charter internet or DSL or some kind of cable access, just turn on your Wi-Fi on your phone and you'll receive your calls through the internet using your old number just like you used to do. But the other cool thing about Google Voice is that I get my voicemails and I can check my email and listen to them, or they actually print out or display throughout my email, and where I could see my voicemails and read them. They're kind of funny sometimes, but I would highly recommend changing to Google Voice first and then porting your number over that way, and then getting whatever number Solavei provides you. The porting process is pretty clean. It took about 24 hours for me to complete that with Google, but now I can point that number to any number I want to. I'm getting all my voicemails through my email. I can call from my computer. I can call from Wi-Fi. International calls through Google Voice are just ridiculously cheap. So don't let coverage be an issue with Solavei, because quite frankly, it's just not. The advertisements, can you hear me now, and those types of things are designed to scare you that Verizon has the best or Sprint has better coverage. But that's, for 96% of the population, literally, T-Mobile coverage is beyond adequate, and I think you'll be very, very pleased with it. But if you're ready to get started with Solavei, or if you have any more questions regarding this, visit us at my website, deanetheridge.com, or visit thetrioamigos.com for our team site, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks for watching this video, and make it a great one.